Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the weekly fundamental podcast. I'm Rasmi Koza from Kotak Securities. To start with, on the international side, last week US markets ended in the red while the MSCI Emerging Market Index was up marginally by 0.3%. Month to date, the MSCI Emerging Market Index is up 5.2% versus 0.9% for MSCI World Index. The S&P 500 is up just 0.3%, while the Nasdaq Composite Index is up 0.9% this month to date. The US President-elect Joe Biden announced a new US dollar 1.9 trillion economic rescue plan, setting it up as his top legislative priority. The plan includes $400 billion for COVID-19 management, more than $1 trillion in direct relief spending, and $440 billion for communities and businesses. We need to wait and see how much of this gets ultimately passed by Congress, as there could be opposition by the Republicans. Globally, expectation of higher inflation is setting up. In the US, higher spending on economic stimulus and potential increase in supply of government bonds to fund the extra spending pushed the 10-year bond yields to 1.08% last week. Another way to look at inflation is that more fiscal stimulus would lead to faster economic recovery, which could also allow Fed to reduce monetary stimulus sooner. The rising commodity prices could also put upward pressure on consumer prices, which could lead to higher inflation and yields. Most of these seem to be coming in and could play out in the second half of this calendar year. As per the Bloomberg Economics, the euro area economy will contract by 4.1% in March quarter after a drop of 1.5% in December quarter that's expected. The biggest monthly gain in the region's output might not come until May. The overall expansion in euro economy in this calendar year is projected to be 2.9% as compared to its 4.8% forecast made in December 20. The ECB will meet on 21st January to set its policy. At its last policy meet in December, it had extended its emergency bond buying program to March 22. Coming to emerging markets, the MSCI Emerging Market Index at 1358 has broken the pre-global financial crisis peak of 1345. If it sustains above 1350 for one or two more weeks, then it would confirm the breakout and go into new zone. The implications can be gauged by the channel breakout. The range of the channel is around 550 points, which if you add to the breakout of 1360, it gives a fresh target of 1860 points, which is a potential upside of around 35%. Since it is a 10-year channel breakout, this target could take anywhere between 1 and 3 years to achieve. Could this be the structural phase of emerging markets beating the developed markets? It seems so, but we'll need to wait for 2-3 weeks to get the confirmation. Coming to India, the Nifty 50 gained 0.6% while the BSE Sensex gained 0.5% last week. Profit booking was visible in both mid and small caps as both the indices fell by 1.2% last week. The overall structure of the market still remains buoyant on expectations of incremental fiscal stimulus in the US, strong Q3 FY21 earnings print thus far, and decreasing domestic COVID-19 cases. This year, the normal euphoria of budget is missing thanks to the already sharp run-up seen in market and a series of reforms and announcements that have already come in from the government side in the last 6 months. I would like to provide some color on our take on the budget numbers and other expectations based on my reading from media articles. The government will have more room to spend in FY22 as compared to FY21, as we expect nominal GDP growth in FY22 to be 14% as compared to -6% in FY21. We are factoring in 4% overall expenditure growth in FY22 estimate, with most of the expenditure growth driven by capital expenditure growth of around 12%. On the revenue front, we estimate gross tax revenue growth at 16% in FY22 estimate, with direct taxes growth of 13% and indirect taxes growth of 19%. The government would need to present a credible FRBM roadmap given that FY21 estimated gross fiscal deficit to GDP would be around 7.1% and public debt to GDP at around 87% is way higher than the FRBM target of 60% set by FY23 estimate. On the back of a healthy nominal GDP growth, The gross fiscal deficit to GDP ratio should come down to around 5.5% in FY22 estimate versus the 7.1% in FY21 estimate. The three focus areas of the budget would be infrastructure, push for local manufacturing, and healthcare spending. To revive the economy and uplift sectors that have got severely impacted, we could see prioritization of spending as revenue resources are limited and crude prices are on the rise. The Make in India push could lead to change in import duties for few sectors. Few figures to ponder on in the budget would be allocation towards vaccination, recapitalization of PSUs, divestment target, and changes in cess or any temporary COVID tax which could come in. The COVID has severely impacted MSMEs and lower income population, so any tax relief to these sections could help them recoup faster. On the flows, FII flows have been quite robust since the start of this calendar year. We have already witnessed around rupees 18,600 crore of FPI flows into India since the start of this calendar year. The forthcoming US stimulus could be another trigger for positive FPI bias towards emerging markets and India. Unlike calendar year 20, this year the flows into emerging markets could be spread across various countries. To this extent, India might see moderated FPI flows. Nonetheless, we still expect FPI flows in India to range between $15 and 20 billion in this calendar year. As we near the budget, the implied vols will rise, which could lead to higher volatility in the market. The NSE volatility index has risen from around 18% in mid of December to 24% as of now. Expect Nifty 50 to be range bound between 14 and 15,000 till budget. In case the budget disappoints, then the Nifty 50 can break 14,000 and head towards the 13,000 mark, which is the major breakout support area. Kindly note that we are not expecting any major crash in the market at this moment, but a 10 to 13% correction after a run up of nearly 93% from the lows is in fact healthy for the market. As Nifty has nearly doubled from the lows of March and valuations look stretched, investors need to be ultra cautious. It is better to avoid riskier bets at this juncture. Keeping in mind the budget event, investors can look to take some profits in stocks that are trading at peak valuations and are way above the consensus price target. Risk-averse investors can also look to protect their portfolios by buying puts of either February or March month. In sectors and stocks where the run-up has been too fast and too steep, we could see profit booking even on the back of good numbers. Would like to cite the example of Reliance. In case of Reliance Industries, the stock price hit a high of rupees 2,369 when Nifty was around 11,300. But thereafter it has grossly underperformed. Since 11,300, the Nifty 50 is up around 27%, while Reliance Industries is down 18%. Hence, one needs to understand the risk-reward ratio of individual stocks and trade accordingly. So that's it from my side. I'll stop here. Thanks for listening to this podcast and have a great and safe week ahead.